Today I just want to have another little discussion about where Call of Duty is at the moment. We're currently around about 2 weeks away from the launch of Season 2 for Vanguard and Warzone, and I'm starting to get back into Vanguard a little bit. I'm actually starting to play a bit more. I'm trying to go for Atomic Camo once again, and I'm going to hopefully try to get level 200 before the end of the season. But now that I've actually got back into COD a little bit, and I've actually, started getting back into the motions of playing it again, I sort of want to talk about my thoughts and opinions on what's happening with the game at the moment, because Vanguard is in sort of a bad state, to be honest. I actually thought the launch of this game was pretty solid. We had most guns were pretty viable, were pretty decent and well balanced. We had a good variety of maps, and they were actually very playable, to be honest. And it was very refreshing for the game, especially on the Modern Warfare engine. It just felt really good to play, and I was really enjoying it. But I think over time, in between then and now, it just feels like Sledgehammer have sort of lost it. They've just sort of lost control of the game, and they're just sort of at a point where it feels like they've given up on the game. It doesn't really feel like there's much passion behind the game anymore. It's no secret that Vanguard and Warzone this year is doing nowhere near as well as Cold War and Modern Warfare did in their respective yearly cycles. Warzone especially, I'm kind of surprised by it, because obviously we just got our first brand new map in the form of Caldera. And along with that, a bunch of fundamental game-changing, patches. Like, they did tons of stuff. Like, they nerfed stuns, they changed loadouts. Just off the top of my head, I don't really know the entire thing of Warzone. I'm not really too up to date with that. But things like the loadout change, that's more like the pinnacle ones at the moment. A lot of the changes a lot of people don't enjoy. Alongside that, the map, I'm getting the impression that people aren't enjoying it as much as they thought they would. So it just feels like Warzone isn't doing as well. Alongside that, obviously, Vanguard is made by Sledgehammer, and it's a brand new IP. And I think those two things, along with the fact that it's a World War II game, has just turned people off of playing this year. And that's why I think Vanguard isn't just doing as well as, the previous two games. People want a modern game like Modern Warfare, or maybe even a near future game. But when we keep getting things like, a Cold War, which is set in the 80s, and we get Vanguard, which is set during World War II, people aren't as interested in that anymore. We've kind of done past games where, like, we got World War II, Cold War era. People have experienced that. People don't want that anymore. They want modern or near future games. And when you get sold a World War II game, that's just why I think this game isn't doing as well this year. But despite that, despite me not being interested in this game because it was a World War II game, the launch was pretty solid, and I thought it was fundamentally a good game. The Modern Warfare engine, like I said before, it had a pretty good launch. It didn't feel too buggy. It had good variety in the guns and the maps, but it just feels like we haven't really progressed anywhere since the launch. Like, it doesn't really feel like it doesn't really feel like we've gone anywhere, if that makes sense. And alongside that, I feel like it was people discovering things over time. The first week or so was very well balanced because it's a brand new game. People are experimenting with different strategies on maps, and people are experiencing different guns for the first time. But obviously, over like a month or two, people are now used to all the weapons. They know all the metas. They know all the best things. And we quickly realized after that sort of like week honeymoon period that the game is broken, especially in the weapon balance. There were things like, the two-shot SMGs and, the incendiary rounds, and just so many things that were just completely busted. And it feels like none of it has been changed since launch. Like, this game doesn't feel any different than it did from launch, which is really weird since we've had a whole season of content pretty much. And it doesn't feel like we've gone anywhere apart from a couple maps. I don't even mean in terms of just brand new content. I mean in terms of like the fundamental balance of the game and the way the game is played. It's just the exact same, which I think is actually a first for any of these games in a long time. It just feels like nothing has changed, and the vacation they took around the holidays really didn't help that. Look, I get it. It was Christmas. They deserve a break, but you can't release a game and then, in a bad state, and then a month later go, yeah, you know what, we're fucking off for Christmas. Like, they should have had at least some people, like, manage it from home or something. Like, I know people could have worked from home. I know that's a big ask, especially around the holidays, for people to, just pack it in. But I think, like, a 2 week to a month vacation when your game is literally dying is not a good thing. And I don't see how Activision could have allowed that for business, because that just wasn't good. And I think that sort of period in time has definitely allowed the game to sort of fall, and it's at a point now where in the public eye, I don't think it's going to be redeemed anytime soon. And that's why I've titled this video the way I have. Sledgehammer seems to have given up on the game, because I feel like that's what Sledgehammer see as well. I feel like they see that the game isn't going to be redeemed in the public's eyes. You know, they have less than a year to redeem this game, and it's not possible to redeem it in the public eye. It just isn't for a Call of Duty game. If a game goes downhill in the first couple months, it's not coming back. It really isn't. At least for another, like, 4 years where people would go, oh, this game was underappreciated, you know, like people do with every game. I don't think this game is going to be redeemed, and I think Sledgehammer have sort of seen that. So I feel like they've sort of dropped the ball on it, and it's a shame, because I do think that this game was good. I do still think it is pretty good, but there are just fundamental, you know, bugs and issues and, you know, core things with the game, like balance or just anything really, stability issues. There's so many of these problems that really make the game suffer for no reason when they could be fixed. But it just doesn't feel like Sledgehammer really care that much to actually put the time and effort into fixing their game, which, like I say, is a real shame. Another thing I want to talk about is Vanguard Zombies. Now, this is something I have a dedicated video for. I have it recorded. I just need to go ahead and edit it. I'll probably release it in the next week or so. But Vanguard Zombies is just an absolute joke. It really is. They recently released a sort of quote-unquote round-based mode. It's an objective in Durand, and it's on Shinonuma, like the inside building. It's actually an insult to fans. It really is. Me personally, I am a huge Zombies fan. I've sort of, you know, died off after time. Like, ever since Black Ops 4, I haven't really been as interested in it. But this year is probably the final nail in the coffin for the franchise in terms of Zombies. If Treyarch can bounce back from this, fair fucks. But the story they've made in Vanguard, it's just not interesting at all. The story for Cold War is alright. It's not really the best, but I guess we will see how good it is in Cold War 2 or whatever it ends up being. But I just don't see how they can come back from this. I think OG Zombies is dead. It really is. And I'm going to talk more about Zombies in my Zombies video whenever that ends up coming out. But I think the iteration of Zombies as we knew it for round base, in terms of like that actual style of gameplay compared to Cold War, that is dead. And we're going to be seeing versions of Cold War and Vanguard Zombies in the future, unless they just straight up give up on Zombies, which is entirely possible. But for the here and now for Vanguard Zombies, they need to just cut support for it. Like, I think people are at the point now where they're disappointed, there's no hope of returning back, and we should just stop it. They need to focus on their next game and bounce back with that, because this year, there's no way they can recover it. It's not possible. It's obvious that they're focused on trying to keep this sort of outbreak style of mode in terms of Vanguard Zombies, like how it works. They're not going to come back with round base, so there's no point now. People have lost interest. Come back with Cold War 2 or whatever it ends up being, and just make that game a lot better, and you will have redeemed yourselves. That's all we need. But anyway, in terms of Sledgehammer and the multiplayer for this game, it just feels like they've given up, and it's the same thing with them. I want them to bounce back, you know. I want them to come back and, you know, wow us with something. You know, I want to see more than just bug fixes and stability issues fixed. And although that is the thing that we should see, I want to see some proper innovation from them. You know, similar thing with what Modern Warfare did. I want to see another version of Obsidian come to the game. I want to see them do something with operator challenges. Yeah, they brought that into the game with the levels. Make it so you get to level 20 and you get a set of actual challenges, not like 3 kills in 15 matches. Make it an actual set of challenges where you can get like an ultimate hero like set of uniforms. That would be awesome. But if they don't do something like that, you know, something inspired for mastery, I don't see myself playing much after I get Atomic. But anyway, that's where I'm at with Vanguard. I just wanted to sort of reiterate this. I'm going to be making a Zombies video in the future, and most of my content now is going to be focused on the Atomic grind, because that's what I'm going to be doing now. So, thank you guys for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, and if you are new out here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.